Fred Topel from Nerd Report, and we have a lot of special guests tonight. Please welcome Elijah Wood. Writers and co-stars Leigh Whannell and Ian Brennan. And I'm told there's some producers in the audience too, Josh Waller and Daniel Noah. So we'll take your questions. When you think of something, raise your hand and I'll scan the audience and I'll get things started. So can you all say dual rear wheel?
Dual rear wheel.
Dual rear wheel.
There are members of the public touching us on the shoulders. Fred, could you do something with that?
So Elijah, I know that every film you do is independent, but when you did Cooties, did you think of it as maybe a nice bookend to The Faculty?
Honestly, it didn't occur to me until people started seeing the movie, and then they were like, "It's like the adult version of The Faculty. It's the reverse."
Oh no, I didn't mean it's the adult version of The Faculty, but it's dealing with school. And
Right, yeah.
kids and teachers.
It honestly did not occur to me until people pointed it out.
Can I just say that I saw The Faculty in 1998 in Times Square, in the main theatre in Times Square. It's one of the greatest cinematic experiences of my life. Becoming a young, wide-eyed country boy from Australia travels to New York, to the big city, to the Big Apple, the Big A. And I went and saw The Faculty, which, because it was out, you know.
Yeah.
It was the best of what was available to see.
Right.
And I had already seen I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And I was like, because I'm one of those people that if somebody...
It's like a Kevin Williamson film.
Yeah, if someone breathes too loud, I'm like... And like, now I'm in Times Square at the midnight session of The Faculty. Really great screening. It's the end of the act. It's a really good story. I think these mics are really hot. They're really hot treble. We'll work with. We can make it work.
So was it really cathartic to just get to bash kids?
Well, I wish Rain were here, because he often talks about how fun that was, but I don't know.
He did get to, like,
he had more
really
action.
we never had that much bashing.
I slapped a kid across the face with a hockey stick. We had a little action on that field, you know, in the battlefield there.
I get it out of my system at home with my daughter.
Well, there was one of the things we talked about
movies done.
when we were writing. That was one of the things, because that was the big, like, can you kill a child?
Was that a needle off the record?
Yeah.
You should have gone more with, it's a scrapier sound than that. It's not.
Do the sound it should have been.
It's like.
Yeah, and then I was like, wait a minute.
That's really good.
But I thought that was one of the most interesting things about the movie creatively. You're like, oh, I think actually everybody who's ever taught children has probably pictured, like, beating the fuck out of them hard. And it was interesting. I thought that was my entree into, like, that film.
Well, Ian and Leigh, how did you hook up and then hook up with the directors and producers of the film?
You go.
Start with you.
Well, Ian and I were friends already, previously, and we had a mutual friend who knew Elijah and Josh and Daniel, who were on here.
Was Ryan Farhoody here?
Ryan Farhoody, raise your hand if you're here. He's not here.
He's not here.
You can say what we want about him.
I got a text from him earlier. Good luck at the screening tonight, guys. It's really great.
What a dipshit. Who sends a good luck text when they're parked out? When he said he was going to come, then he flakes. Typical fucking LA. Yeah. Anyway, he said, my friend, this guy, Josh, is writing this, or has an idea for a film about a virus that only affects the prepubescent, and it's called Cooties. So we already had the title, and I just, whatever I was doing, I stopped it. Like, I can't remember what I was doing, but let's say I was carrying a plate of spaghetti. I dropped it, yeah. The spaghetti went everywhere. And Ryan was covered in spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I want to write that film. And I set up a meeting. Well, I said to Ryan, hey, set up a meeting with those guys. And so we did. And we sat down and I weirdly automatically thought it was already a horror comedy. Of course. I was like, isn't this a great idea for a comedy? And quickly found out they didn't see it that way at all. They saw it as a straight horror film, which doesn't speak well for their views on things. And I was like, no, it's a totally a comedy, you dipshits. And then they came around after a couple of days of thinking about it, and then once they said, yep, great, horror comedy, go for it, then I went to Ian and said, you gotta get
Well, yeah, I was like, how about a horror comedy named Cooties? And I was like, I can't believe that hasn't been done. Like, that's sort of like, yeah, let's do that. And then
Everybody sort of does that with the pitch, like about halfway through the sentence, it's like, I'm in, yeah,
surprising.
yeah. And then what happened? What?
Well, Ian, you'd already been writing with Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, right?
Yeah.
So was it different with Leigh and Josh?
Much different, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it's a much different, and I'm working with them again on Scream Queens, which airs on Tuesday. Everyone watch Scream Queens on Tuesday. It's tracking well, it's going to be a big hit. No, but that's actually true. It is tracking well. But yeah, it was interesting. It was good because I knew them. I knew them first as
Tracking is how Hollywood industry people predict their own success before it's happened.
it's how Hollywood masturbates.
We're tracking well.
Yeah. But no, but them I had met as collaborators before I was friends with them. Leigh I was friends with before. And sometimes it's weird to collaborate with a friend because it often just destroys friendships. There's a million things that can go wrong and you're like, I hate that person over the tiniest thing. And then but the weird with Leigh and I that didn't ever happen. Hasn't happened. Might happen later.
I kept it to myself.
Yeah. But it was just very easy. We hung out for a month. Like we would just like hang out at each other's houses and bang it out. It was great. Really enjoyable.
Then Elijah, when did you get involved?
I was involved from the inception because Josh, whose idea it was, is my producing partner. So it was sort of collective idea that was brought to these guys, and so I was just involved as a producer and cajoled into playing a role.
Oh, so you didn't always want to play Clint?
I did not, no, not for not loving the script or the character, but initially started the company with the intention of only producing with the company and not wanting to blur the lines between being a producer and an actor, and ultimately I was cajoled, and I'm glad that I was because it was an awesome experience. That it would have been a bummer to miss out on it.
Is this whole ending in the Danville school new?
Yes. Yeah, this is a different cut than the cut that was shown at Sundance. Lionsgate acquired the film, and they very generously offered to fund a bigger and better finale because we did not have the resources to execute the kind of finish that we wanted. Did anyone here ever see the original cut? No. 1, 2, 3. Yes, the people who worked on the movie.
The cast members.
So yeah, the original ending was much smaller and darker, and everybody died at the end. But I think what we learned from the Sundance screenings was that the audience loved these people, these characters so much that they didn't want to see them die. They wanted to see them survive. So we were able to do this new ending, which was much bigger and happier, because it's such a happy film.
And Leigh and Ian wrote like 5 or 6 endings.
We sure did.
There was a few, there were so many, and I loved all of them. One of them was so crazy.
The first one involved, it went from like a $2 million movie to like a $50 million movie because it was like
The lake?
No, before the lake. It was when the original one was they leave town and enter they are kind of like the American military. Yeah. They're like hey, and they're like get down, get the fuck on the ground. There's a lot of that. There's probably too much of that. And then they jet fighters come in and bomb the town. And we're like,
First one, hey, that does escalate the budget slightly.
Yeah, there was
the old folks home.
oh yeah, well then there was one where it's like then
This is my favorite.
then they got on a boat and sailed down the river and then went to Jack McBray's character's aunt's old folks home where she lived and were attacked by old people, and you find out that post-menopause you can get cooties too. So it's prepubescent, post-menopause.
He opens up a pamphlet that's about like how to get through menopause, and like turns
Yeah.
like "Rah!" and his own grandmother kills him.
Killer zombie grandmother.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But wait, you said that was your favorite ending.
I think it was my favorite ending.
I think Daniel was the one who said, this isn't the ending we should go with. That must have been an interesting little conversation between you two.
It was.
Illuminate.
I think it's Evan who won that argument.
I conceded.
The audience has spoken.
The
But I
sequel-
conceded
the
on
sequel
the
will
precipice
be-
that we would do it in the sequel.
That's right, the sequel will be called Menopause.
Which we just ruined in a public forum.
Menopause!
What about this? I got it. Menoclause.
Menopause, right? Like
No, like clause. Yeah,
it's
like
like
Santa Claus.
menopause.
Murder clause. No.
I mean, they're all good. They're
Yeah,
all good.
we'll just, this is not the time nor the place to have this writer's spitballing session.
If there are questions from the audience, we can start taking them. While we wait for questions, was everyone you cast as the teachers the first choice for that role, or did you try mixing and matching some of the teachers as different actors?
I feel like that we got who we asked, which was great.
Yeah.
And like such a when you're writing something, you don't always assume that that's going to happen. And like it was the best cast ever, and nice and cool, and adds so much constantly. Really, really, really funny and good.
Yeah, that was a real testament to the material too, because it was the script was so great. What they crafted, it was so unique that Rain read it and fell in love with it and wanted to do it immediately. Allison read it and was like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever read. I have to do it." So it's a real testament to what they did.
Was filming the monster attacks really different because you're working with child actors?
Yeah, they have rules about like how long they're gonna work. Need to have teachers. But it does actually when you have kids and stuff, it like doubles your budget like instantly right away. It's like that was a problem, and then added on to like effects and there's zombies and stuff. It is like these guys can speak more to that, but it is like that does like pretty much like make it twice as hard.
Well, Clint's character is an aspiring author. Did that come from any writer's fears of not making it and still living with your mom and writing your novel?
Leigh wrote those things, so that was technically his private fear about himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone who's in a creative field always has that person living inside them that's scared that even if you have done something where you've sort of achieved a goal that you wanted to achieve, you're constantly scared that it's going to be taken away. So it's pretty easy to tap into this feeling of like, I do think about a lot, like, what would I be doing if I wasn't doing this? And then I feel like the only thing I would even want to do would maybe be teaching. So it was very easy to tap into Clint's anxieties about not being able to do what he wanted to do. And then it was fun to write his book about the killer boat.
Kill them all.
I see a question in the back.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. It's an amazing film. I mean, it's right up there with Shaun of the Dead. As far as,
Thank you. He just said it was right up there. That for those who didn't hear. Thank you. Thank you.
Any plans for a sequel? Because you guys just came up with a plot right there. You know, one of the books, Jack McBrayer's grandmother's.
Always talked about it on set. Yeah. If anything, for our own indulgence, we want to do a sequel, whether you want one or not.
And we kind of like we've talked a lot. We've sort of mapped out like a ridiculously ambitious trilogy for how the whole world is taken over by these Cooties kids,
It'd be great to do a Mad Max version.
that's exactly.
Where like America has been taken over by kids, and then there's like these little encampments of adults behind barbed wire, defending themselves from kids. That would be
And the
amazing.
movie starts immediately, like 100 years later.
Exactly. It's well, I mean, a sequel is a champagne problem that only occurs if the film does well. You know, somebody says like, financially, it makes sense to make a sequel.
Wade is like a deity.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got to be wearing like a steel hockey mask, like the humongous from Mad Max 2. It's going to be so good.
Another question in the front row?
I was wondering if you guys have a theory on why horror comedy has remained such a sort of niche subgenre. It feels like there's very few horror comedies that really fly or, are like marketing heavy. And I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of people in this audience probably do too. So I wonder if you guys have a theory on why it is so difficult when there's so many sort of straight-faced horror movies that are really similar to these horror comedies.
Yeah, I can answer that very specifically. I think there's a lot of anxiety about humor not translating across borders. That was something that we heard a lot when we were putting the money together for this, that what makes Americans laugh doesn't necessarily make people laugh in other countries. So I think that creates a kind of a nervousness about putting too many resources into a comedy in general. I think is the problem that we heard.
Yeah. They have, we, because Scream Queens is also like horror comedy. Oh, I'm only mentioning this because I was literally in a meeting like last week.
How's it tracking?
It's tracking great.
I like
But
the
no,
band.
it was-
It's tracking great.
Yeah. Well, no, but literally it like doesn't weirdly play well with people. Like the network was like, that's a hurdle they have to overcome, and they do it with other stuff. Like in the case of the show, it's like, Armani Jackson's on it, and like whatever. But they don't. People are weirdly, America writ large is weirdly put off by it. It's like they can't think of those things as the same in general. People here get it, and I think there's a wedge of people who do, but evidently that wedge is like smaller than you would expect. That was a surprise to me too, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think, I mean, I'm assuming everyone here is like genre fans, and like, I think it makes sense to real genre fans to mix up laughs with horror, but I think your average audiences out there, maybe it's a bit more confusing to suddenly mesh those two genres. Like, it's like, all of a sudden, if there was a comedy skit in the middle of Schindler's List, people would just be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, and I think your average viewer beyond genre fans, the type of people that would go to Comic-Con or are interested in films, and are passionate about them, I think they're like, they're sort of put off by the fact that you're asking two things of them. Like, it's a comedy and it's horror. So, yeah.
You're the one who said it once, and I didn't notice until you said it, but it was in like, and you were like, in screenings of Soul, I noticed that like people robbed. So like it is exactly how it is. But no, but there's actually like after a big scare, that was spot on.
That's the worst impersonation.
You need to record yourself and listen to it because that was exactly what happened. But yeah, after like a big scare, people laugh. Like the two things are actually tied together, and there's the same sort of catharsis of like something's gonna happen, then it happens. It's odd that they're not tied together more.
No, and it's a release too. When you're really afraid, you scream and you'll sometimes laugh out of fear, just to release it. It's weird though, that thing, because horror comedy has been around for so long. It's not like it's a new thing. I mean, there's a long, great tradition of horror comedies, all the way back to Evil Dead 2.
Abbott and Costello versus the Mummy.
It's a bizarre thing that somebody
There's
has
confused
been
about
around for
how
so
to
long.
market this.
I guess
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Leigh and I would do passes on the script, sort of, because I'm not good at horror and not good at, with my brothers, I would just write something entirely funny the whole time. And then Leigh was good at being like, no, like, let me do a pass of this, and would then like write out great, scary sequences that would fit in. So it was like, hopefully by the time the script was done, I think there was a good enough mix of it. But it isn't necessarily natural. I don't think I could sit down and write like a great script that was both scary and funny. I think I would lean towards one or the other naturally. So it was good that we were collaborating.
Do you have a question over here? In the jacket, yes.
was cut out. But that is interesting. Like, was there anything that skewed a different direction in intention?
I don't know if we cut anything out because, like, I mean, I don't think it's ever happened in the history of the world where someone's like, we have to cut this scene. It's too funny. Unless, you know, they're making, like, you know, something really depressing, like The Elephant Man or whatever. It's like,
That's playing really hilarious.
yeah, it's like, this is getting big laughs. It's ruining the whole John Merrick thing.
Comedic genius.
Yeah.
He looks like a pastry.
Yeah. And on the other hand, like, maybe if you're making outrageous fortune and you're like, it's terrifying in this scene. Lily Tomlin's makeup is hideous, or whatever. But I think that you're always looking for what the funniest stuff and the scariest stuff is. So anything that got cut was just something that, it's not sitting well within the story. You know, you've got to keep this sense of like urgency and pace up.
And we had to write to a budget too. Like we had to, some things were just determined by like, what can we accomplish once we have this location? So that became a larger concern. That's what I remember losing from the script. That it would be like, oh, we can't. That's actually not doable in this location or on this day or with that actor or whatever. But that would have been prior to. That would have been earlier drafts. I think once it was like we had a shooting script. I think it was mostly. Shot as scripted, and then there weren't huge like bloodbaths as far as like losing a bunch of stuff that we might.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, we have a couple of the kids from the film are here. We should just acknowledge Armani Jackson and his son May Allison. Oh, and Miles Elliot too. Yes, well done, man. Wow, you guys got so.
You guys got old and older.
Look at Miles.
Oh my God.
What's up, Miles?
Oh my God, Mom.
I'm sure everyone has lots of questions about how screwed up you are from making this movie.
You still have a question in the front row?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because we wrote it for free, so we're like, well.
That's the only way I can get acting work is to actually write
That is
a movie
true.
and make it a
Blackball
contractual obligation.
because of unusual behavior in the casting office. That's not true at all.
Those are two of the funniest parts of the movie. As it turns out.
The principal.
The principal is so good. That's still one of my favorite scenes.
Pull up a bowl chair.
It's so good.
Yeah, we did. We just did from the beginning. It was sort of like, oh, we're gonna write this thing. Like, oh, why not? And it makes it fun. Then when you're in a scene that you wrote and a director is trying to direct you, they can't do anything because you're sort of like, nah. Like, let's ask the writer. Like, maybe it's supposed to be this way. Let's ask the writer.
What do you think? Well, I think
Yeah, I think what the actor was doing was correct. That's what I agree. Oh, action. Yeah, right.
There's a question in the middle and then in the front.
I was wondering if, given the script and all the comedic actors in the movie, did you leave room for like improvisation, or was it mainly stuck to the script?
Yeah, we didn't have a great amount of time, but we still did leave time for.
I think a good 20% of the script is not scripted. But it was like literally, I think 15 to 20% is like not just stuff that was added, which is great. That's such like a gift when like you have great improvisers, and improvisers are actors who can write and they can write instantly. So like it just adds, it makes you, and then you get credit for it too. Like it's like the best racket ever as a writer, because you're like, yeah, didn't think of that. Awesome line is like in the trailer, and you're like, but I don't get credit for it. But yeah, really, all across the board, everyone was really good. Even people who weren't, no, everybody was good. Everybody was like a good, I was gonna say that people who weren't like trained as improvisers were like really game, but actually everybody there was like really strong.
Well, and the Hobbit line was an improv,
Right.
And I think, and it was a two-camera setup. And Elijah's response is really genuine. And, like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
So funny.
I tried so hard to get that cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
I succeeded, actually. They did take it out. Then they put it back in. They were like, it gets a laugh. I was like, all right.
On that occasion, democracy won.
Yeah. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Who is that right now? Improv, you know, when Jack goes, who is that lady? He was literally just reacting to an extra that he had. He didn't know who she was. Literally the truth. It's amazing.
Come on, guys. We all know that the best improv is, now get out of here.
Improv, you spent the 3 prior weeks thinking of it. Your joke isn't in the film, is it? Like the joke time? That's not in the movie anymore, is it?
No.
There was a great bit where he came, because you know he's always like trying to make conversation. He comes up and it's like, we're in the worst scenario to make a joke, and you're like, okay, joke
On the joke time thing, did not make it.
Oh.
Damn it!
And they made some really just like poor taste jokes.
Do you remember the joke?
Do you remember one of the
He
jokes?
murdered a prostitute in 1984.
This, yeah.
I was like, what's got 2 thumbs and murdered a prostitute in 1986? And then I got interrupted.
What is the punchline to that joke?
You haven't heard that one?
And then you walked with you, and they're like, it's teaching time.
Yeah.
And then you went into the
Yeah. See? Gold. Gold.
Such gold.
Fuck, who cut that out? Sorry, kids.
There's a question in the front, and we are running out of time if anyone has questions they want to get in after this. You.
Oh, fuck.
You had your
No,
chance.
come on, it'll come back to you.
Goodbye.
Draining out of your head. It's over. It's over. Fuck! Get it back!
I try to think of it again. There's a question behind you.
So did you write full well?
Yes. Yeah. I don't remember how they came up, but that's a gold. That's gold.
We did write it, and then we wrote it phonetically, and then we wrote it in the action, like the part of the script you don't see on screen. We wrote, it's really hard. You try.
But we did not write what Rain ended up doing, which is like go on like a 10-minute run. It's like that was one of the actually hardest sequences to cut because you don't know how it's so long. It's like I'm not joking. Like it had to have been a full reel of film, like a good 12 minutes of celluloid of him doing it, and it's so good. So we didn't write that. We just planted the idea.
A question over here.
My question is for Leigh. Could you tell us something else, like a little tidbit about Doug? Because I spent the entire movie trying to piece him together and he's a mystery. I'm sure that was on purpose. But
Yeah.
little trivia facts about him.
Well, I think he's going to be a serial killer. He's about 4 years away from just filling his freezer with the skulls of hitchhikers. But he hasn't. At the moment, he's just at the socially awkward phase. Like he's not. His dog isn't telling him to kill yet. That's the way I always saw him. I asked for the Jeffrey Dahmer haircut on the first day. They were like, "So what's Doug's hair look like?" And I was like, "Give me the Jeffrey Dahmer." And I think that he's brain damaged, and he's very smart but can't relate to other humans. And I think that he is constantly thinking about death and yes.
Do you have a question on the side?
This is maybe for the kids, but you can answer it too if you want. Were any of you kind of scared watching your own movie, with it being a comedy horror?
No. Oh, hi. I wasn't, just because I personally am obsessed with horror movies. But, seeing it on set and just being really comfortable with each other when I was watching it, I wasn't as scared as my parts. I mean, I was scared of, him and everything, but I wasn't scared of myself.
I also really love, horror. I actually just got done with going to all the Horror Nights tonight. Yeah. Less than an hour ago, I just got back. But, no, I don't really get scared of myself or anything, so I've seen myself in a lot of movies. And I love horror.
Yeah, the same thing with Sunny. I really like horror movies as well, but I don't know, I wasn't really scared of myself. I was definitely scared of Cooper, like at the end with his like messed up mouth. Like that was freaky, but like myself, I kind of was like, that's not scaring me at all, so I didn't really get scared by myself. You know? I mean, it was a little weird to see myself die.
Yeah.
Because I died, but that was a little cool. Like I was like, oh, but yeah.
Did you all audition for your parts?
Yeah, my audition was pretty funny. And, you know, I went in and they didn't give me a script or anything because, you know, you don't really have to have a script for growling, so. So, you know, I got the scene when I got there just to see what the other people were saying. And I went in and I was working with Terry Taylor, and I love her. I actually booked a movie with her for another one. But when I went in there, I was just super comfortable with her. She was really cool, and I got so into the scene, and it was actually a scene where they pull out my pigtail, and I got so into it, I turned around and I slapped the script out of her hand, and I was like, what did I just do? And then she turned around and she turned the camera off, she was like, that was amazing! And she gave me a fist bump. It was so cool. I was like, all right, okay, that could have gone really bad, but it didn't. It was good. And I remember meeting like a lot of you guys, and as soon as I walked in, it was just really cool. And now that I actually like know you guys, it's really weird looking back on it. But the auditions were awesome, and I found out like the next day that I got it. I went on like 2, and then the next day I found out, so it was really cool that it was fast like that.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They were all awesome.
My audition, I think it was just the singing scene, which is in the on-demand version. But mine was just like a couple lines within the scene.
Yeah, the song that got cut.
I know, like my first, like my audition scene gets cut. But I just had like a couple lines, and then the singing scene, that was really it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I went for Patriot at first. I got called into read Patriot, and when I was done, they were like, do you want to read a different part? And so I got this different part, and I came back in another day, and I was Dink, and like, his lines were just so, like, dumb. Like, he was such a dumb kid. Like, he was, so, I mean, it was really fun, and like, I remember the next day I found out I got it, because like, I don't know, because like the blonde thing and everything.
It was the hair.
It's because the blonde thing, and like, my lines were just so
What
dumb.
were some of your favorites?
You know? So, yeah, I mean, and like the same with the growling and everything. I mean, like when I wanted them to do audio over after, like, they were like, oh, can you give us like some growls? So I was in the studio going like, "Rawr," like a bunch of times. So, I mean, it was interesting.
Well, that's what's actually great about all of our kids is that they essentially, we cast the entire cast of children within like maybe like 3 or 4 days. You know, we've talked about how like you normally have horror stories, you know, sometimes working with kids and trying to find like the quintessential children. And like everybody came in and it was kind of like, that's Shelley, that's Dink, that's Patriot, just everyone came in the first few days. So it was pretty evident the moment they walked in.
So what was the tainted chicken nugget made out of? And for the kids who had to eat it, what did it taste like?
I had to eat that nasty chicken nugget. It was terrible. I don't like chicken nuggets anyways. So, but I walked on set and they had these chicken nuggets and they were still like kind of frozen. I mean, they heated up and everything, but it was still like, oh my god, it was terrible and it was soggy.